All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking the exact blueprint for crafting high-performing 5 to 15-minute long-form YouTube showcases of no-code AI agents. If you've been looking to create incredible, highly engaging content that actually demonstrates how adaptive AI builds and runs complex workflows across everyday tools using just plain English, well, you're in the exact right place. And hey, whether you want to be front and center on camera or prefer a completely faceless format, this framework is going to show you how to turn real screen recordings of AI products into deeply compelling stories. Let's get to it.
So, here's the big question, right? Why do 99% of AI agent tutorials completely fail to hold viewer attention? It comes down to this central tension. Most creators out there are focusing on flashy but entirely useless demos instead of real practical utility. You know the type. They'll show you a bunch of disconnected tools, maybe run one really impressive prompt, but they completely skip over how to actually think about, structure, and build these agents properly for everyday business use. And that is exactly why viewers are clicking away in 60 seconds flat. The audience wants to see a real programmable employee solving actual problems, not just a neat parlor trick. We're going to change how you build these showcases so your audience stays glued to the screen. To fix that, we're going to hit 6 key areas today. 1. The AI video gold rush. 2. Hooking your audience fast. 3. Anatomy of a real agent. 4. Avoiding common AI mistakes. 5. Structuring your core content. And 6. Nailing the final outro. Okay, Section 1. The AI video gold rush. Capitalizing on content rewards. Right now, there is literally an $18,000 budget bounty waiting for creators. It pays a highly competitive $25 per thousand views for long-form tutorials, comparisons, and experiment-style videos that showcase plain English adaptive AI workflows to Tier 1 audiences. So we're talking viewers in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. Why does a bounty like this even exist? Because tech companies are absolutely desperate for clear communicators who can explain how to use their tools practically, rather than just endlessly talking about AI theory. Remember, your content can be completely faceless, but the absolute non-negotiable requirement is that it must include clear, real screen recordings of the product in action.
Moving right along to Section 2, hooking your audience fast and winning that crucial first impression.
You've got 15 seconds. That's it. A maximum of 15 seconds to hook a viewer. And honestly, most creators completely waste this precious window with long, generic introductions. Instead of starting with, "Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to look at some cool AI tools," you need to shatter their preconceived beliefs right away. Challenging what they think they know about AI in those first few seconds can surge audience retention from a dismal 35% up to an incredible 67%. It's all about signaling immediate, high-leverage value before they even have a chance to hover their mouse over another thumbnail.
So how do we actually do that? You have to use a 3-part irresistible hook formula before you ever hit the record button. First, you hit them with the statement, a bold, confident claim that breaks their existing beliefs about how work gets done. Next is the problem. You immediately tie that bold statement to a deep pain point they're super frustrated by, something like losing hours every week to manual data entry. Finally, you deliver the promise. Tell them exactly what they will be able to build and automate by the end of your 10-minute showcase. Master this sequence and you own their attention for the long haul.
All right, Section 3, Anatomy of a Real Agent, Building a Programmable Employee.
You really have to highlight the stark contrast here between the old slot machine way of prompting and this new programmable workforce. Chatbots are essentially passive assistants. They just sit there waiting for your prompt, they start from absolute zero in every single conversation, and frankly, they leave all the manual execution work sitting right there on your plate. AI agents, on the other hand, they are active employees, they run autonomously 24/7, they take real actions across your business tools without needing you to click a button, and they leverage persistent memory to actually understand and remember your specific business rules day after day.
To show an agent that actually functions like a programmable employee, your explainer has to highlight 3 core ingredients in action on platforms like Base44 or HyperAgent. First up is the job description. This means typing out clear, plain English instructions telling the AI exactly what its role is. Second, tools and integrations. You have to actually record yourself connecting the apps where the real work happens, like linking the agent directly into Gmail, HubSpot, or Slack. Third, persistent memory. You need to show the audience how the agent remembers past goals and business rules. For instance, if you tell it once never to email a high-ticket client on a Sunday, it remembers that constraint forever. It literally gets smarter over time. For example, you want to show yourself typing a command exactly like this. "You are my outreach manager. monitor unresponsive prospects, and autonomously draft a WhatsApp follow-up. That is the precise type of plain English, no-code programming your audience is desperately looking to see working seamlessly via real screen recordings. There's no massive coding blocks here, no complex API integrations required from the user. It's just clear, business-driven commands that your viewers can immediately replicate in their own operations to save hours of manual follow-up.
Let's jump to Section 4, avoiding common AI mistakes so you don't lose your viewers' trust.
You've absolutely got to avoid these critical pitfalls documented by Particular Tech. A huge mistake is over-engineering simple problems. Like, please don't build a massive, complex LLM agent for something a simple Zapier or Make workflow could easily handle. You also want to avoid prioritizing low-value tasks. Nobody wants to see an agent organizing a grocery list when you could be showcasing it handling high-value sales pipeline management. Also, be super careful about misaligning autonomy and risk. You have to demonstrate agents handling critical tasks with appropriate human-in-the-loop oversight. You want to show your viewers that you understand how to build systems that are safe, reliable, and fundamentally sound.
Next up, Section 5, structuring your core content, or as I like to call it, designing viewer attention.
As the experts over at Vidido point out, structure is not about sounding like a robot. A great script lets you design attention on purpose. It's really about systematically solving tension and eliminating any dead spots in your video. For instance, if you've got a 30-second software loading screen during your recording, a structured script makes sure you edit that out or use that gap to explain the underlying logic of the AI's decision-making process. A fantastic script controls what the viewer needs to hear first, what gets intentionally delayed to build curiosity, and exactly when the ultimate proof of the working agent is finally revealed.
Depending on what you're building, you're going to lean on one of 3 specific script frameworks to fulfill these adaptive AI content bounties. If you're producing a straightforward tutorial or walkthrough, you want to state the outcome immediately, sequence your steps clearly, and highlight common mistakes viewers might make. If you're doing a versus video comparing 2 AI platforms, focus heavily on the user's specific workflow needs and set clear decision criteria instead of just reading off a list of generic features. And if you're trying an experiment-style challenge, say automating an entire inbound sales funnel in 24 hours, make sure you establish a baseline test, show the very real setbacks along the way, and then reveal that final spectacular result.
And the real secret sauce for making any of those frameworks work seamlessly is the 2-column scripting format. Putting your dialogue on the left column, literally every single word written out exactly as you plan to say it, and your visuals on the right forces you to think visually from the absolute start. By defining your specific B-roll, on-screen text, and exactly where the real screen recordings of the AI product are going to appear, you guarantee that those required visual elements are flawlessly integrated. They become a core part of your narrative rather than feeling like some afterthought you just slapped on in the editing room.
Finally, Section 6. Nailing the final outro for maximum pacing and retention.
When you're actually sitting down to narrate your showcase, you want to hit a comfortable conversational pace. We're talking about 130 to 160 words per minute. So, if you're aiming for that perfect 10-minute long-form video to qualify for the maximum bounty, your script should be roughly 1,500 words total. You do not want to rush through these complex AI concepts, but you definitely don't want to put your audience to sleep either. Just speak naturally and enthusiastically, kind of like you're guiding a good friend through a software platform they've never seen before.
And when you reach those final seconds, please do not just beg for likes and subscribes. You want to deliver a specific, value-driven call to action wrapped in an open loop. An open loop is just a storytelling technique that teases upcoming content, acting as a mini cliffhanger. So say something highly relevant like, now that your agent is built, the real challenge is making sure it doesn't hallucinate during a client interaction. Click the video on screen to see the one simple prompt constraint that fixes this instantly. That is exactly how you keep them binge-watching, significantly boosting your overall session time.
Ultimately, integrating top-tier YouTube script writing with genuine, practical AI utility is the true secret to standing out and converting viewer attention into massive action. So we'll leave you with this question. Are you just recording a flashy, temporary demo, or are you crafting a compelling narrative about a real, programmable workforce? We've absolutely moved past the era of basic chatbots. The creators who succeed are going to be the ones who can clearly showcase adaptive AI building real workflows across everyday tools using just plain English. Think about how you'll script your next masterpiece to capture that attention, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.